For my obeisances, just by Prabhuji to everybody present here, please forgive me if I commit any mistakes, and please correct me in this process, or the efforts that we are all taking. So please correct me if I have committed any mistakes. The topic that I have chosen was, I'll firstly start the reason why I chose this topic is because I personally am struggling to achieve this goal in my life to offer Prasadam every day to Krishna and honor the Prasadam every day. So I've been struggling with this myself from a very long time, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to remind myself or to reiterate myself how important it is that we practice one of this instruction from Prabhupada very sincerely. So that's why I've taken the topic of why we should be offering Prasadam and what is the importance of it, and also Satvik eating or Satvik living. Okay, of course we'll be taking the references of Bhagavad Gita. So I've been reading about which shlokas are giving reference. Of course I use ChatGPT, so I was looking at the shlokas that Krishna himself has spoken. Of course Bhagavad Gita is given his instructions, direct instructions from Krishna, right? So the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse number 13, which we can see on the screen, talks about what we actually eat. So Krishna starts very strong, like he says, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. This was very strong for me when I read it for the first time. It really struck me that, so every day we are eating sins. Is this how we want to lead our life? And that question, continued to stay in my mind for a very long time until we heard from Kaushal Prabhu what exactly it means. So to start my session, I feel like I would say food is not just a nourishment for the body, it shapes our consciousness. The journey of our Krishna consciousness actually starts, and many of us can relate to this, actually starts with Prasadam. So it is so important that food not only just shapes nourishes your body, but it also shapes the consciousness, your consciousness. Is it okay if I don't use the mic at all? Can everybody hear it?
Yeah.
It's just so disturbing, and I'm already so nervous. You all can hear it from my breathing as well. Topic is, we want to understand that food is not only just a nourishment of our physical body, but it is to raise our consciousness and to grow in our bhakti and sadhana as well. So why food is so important and why we should be offering bhoga. So I've kind of analyzed this from two perspectives. One is very scientific and one is very spiritual. So when I was researching about the scientific aspect, there is so many reasons why we should be eating Satvik food and offered food, prasadam, which is offered to Krishna. Firstly, we found that there is certain chemicals in our brain that actually help with our mental and physical development, such as serotonin, dopamine, GABA, norepinephrine. I know we haven't even heard of all of these names, but these are the chemicals that actually stimulate growth and our consciousness, our mental health basically. Food shapes our consciousness. What we eat can literally change so many things: attention span, emotional stability, our decision making. And eating nutrition isn't just as using them as to just nourish our body, but like I said, to increase our consciousness. Fresh food encourages production of serotonin in our body, and stale food does not give any nourishment, but it kind of stops the production of serotonin. So basically what I'm trying to get to here is, there is not only spiritual, from the Bhagavad Gita background that we should be eating Satvik food, but there is a lot of scientific research that has already been done, which we don't need to dive into detail, because we are quite convinced that the words coming from Krishna are one that we have to follow. So I'm not going to dig deep into the scientific aspects. So let's move on to the spiritual aspects. From the spiritual perspective, again, I've divided this into two parts. One is cooking and one is honoring Prasadam. I would be mostly speaking from a mother's point of view, as a woman who is cooking more often for our children or for our families or for our guests. So cooking is a very important aspect for us, especially for us women, right? So why it is important that we cook, but not only cook for our family, but to cook for Krishna. Okay, cooking bhoga, not only cooking food, but cooking bhoga for Krishna. It is not only serving Krishna, but indirectly you're serving your children and your family as well by feeding them prasadam, right? When Prabhuji told us about this shloka, I remember it, he stressed on the importance of serving. By offering bhoga, we get to serve Krishna directly every single day. And it is not important to serve Krishna physically only. We are serving him subconsciously as well. Because when we are cooking with that consciousness that I'm cooking for something very, special to me. So that consciousness is going inside the food and indirectly nourishing your family in that way to grow them in their bhakti as well. So it is very important that we do this service every day, not only just for Krishna, but also to our family and indirectly serving our family as well. From my experience of learning from Leelamrita, I would say, to serve the spiritual master's instruction is more important than to serve him physically. Why I mention this is because in the Bhagavad Gita 3.13, Krishna himself is saying we are verily eating only sin. So what he's trying to tell us here is, and these are his words, his is Vani, right? So what I'm getting to the point is that Vani is more important than actually doing the physical service, right? Physical association of something. So here, by cooking and offering, we are doing both, Vani as well as Vapu. So we are doing physical service as well as following the instructions of Krishna. So that's how important it is. And from the perspective of honoring Prasadam, I have mentioned here that it not only helps our physical health, but also helping our bodily consciousness to stay longer in the mode of goodness. This is also referred in the shloka 9.27. Sorry, I've lost my notes. 9.27, where it says, I'll just quickly open that verse so you all can relate to it, because we all have learned that shloka together. The word ashnashi here. So what is Krishna saying here is, whatever you do, whatever you eat, very important word here, whatever you eat. So what I'm talking about is you're honoring the prasadam. It is so important that we are following Krishna's instructions even when we are eating. So what you offer, you give away, and whatever austerities you perform, so that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So even when you're eating, you're not just eating food, you're honoring it. You're honoring the prasadam that Krishna has given you. So that is the importance of honoring prasadam, we understand from this verse. Lastly, I wanted to conclude by differentiating what is healthy food and Satvik food. So we always get this confused a lot, that Satvik food is only no onion garlic food, or vegetarian food, or something that's But Krishna explains that very nicely in 7.8. Satvik food not necessarily only means all these things, but there is much more to Satvik living or Satvik eating. The one that increases our longevity, he defines in that verse 17.8, the food that's prepared or eaten in the mode of goodness increases our longevity, helps us with the purification, strengthens our body, increases our happiness, and also increases the satisfaction. Such food is juicy, fatty, pleasing to heart, and he mentions sthira hridaya. This is a very important word, I feel. Sthira hridaya is because all of us in this day and age, we are all in one way or the other, are depressed, anxious, or about, worried about something. So when we take this one aspect out of, equation, that, if we are eating healthy, at least that way our consciousness will be developed in such a way that at least we'll feel peaceful and we'll be satisfied that at least, one aspect that I have covered, where I'm only eating Satvik food, so I don't have to worry about my, physical health or worried about, so you can satisfy yourself that way. just by offering food to Krishna. And some of the practical learnings I've written for myself actually to learn is start simple. That's what I've written here. So this probably is learning lesson that I'm telling myself. Start simple means if you're not offering at all, start offering fruit, start offering dry fruits, start offering, if you're offering these things already, start offering one cooked meal every day. If not both the times, like morning and evening, at least once in a day. Then another vow that I can kind of suggest or offer is when there is Ekadashi, I usually try to avoid outside food on the 10th, 11th, so that is Dashami, Ekadashi, and then Dwadashi. So we can start simple and slow like this, and then grow into our consciousness where we actually stop eating non-Satvik food, or food that we don't know who has prepared it or with what consciousness, and then we can grow from there. And then the second one is be practical and think practical. So lots of us have different challenges when we take a vow about offering. So we constantly, especially we women, we start feeling guilty about if we have not offered it once, in a week, or we are traveling, or we are suffering from our menstrual cycle, so we are not able to offer. So we need to stop feeling guilty about it. But at the same time, we also have to make sure that whatever vow that we are taking is practical, and also we are following the instructions. So we are doing it with all our heart and soul. We are not just doing it just to prove somebody that I have done this much for Krishna, I have done that much. We don't need to do it to tell others or to show others. We need to do it which is suitable to us as per our nature. If we don't love cooking, there is so many other service to do. But then don't take that vow which you are not able to honor. Right? So that was one of the learning lessons that I learned from my studies around Satvik food. Please correct me, forgive me if I have committed any mistakes or have done any offenses on the part of learning from these shlokas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Stay for the feedback.
And the questions.
Okay. So sandwich feedback, good points.
It was a lot of research, Prabhu.
Very well received.
It was based on scientific as well as
good points.
helpful.
Practical.
Practical.
approach.
Yeah.
Referencing to other shlokas as well, not just one shloka.
Shastra